Hello, Internet, and welcome once again to the Always Online Multiplayer Gaming Podcast brought to you by mmorpg.com, your home for all things free-to-play related. Shit, all those months, I had never done it. I had never made the mistake until just now. mmobomb.com, your home for all things multiplayer related. I didn't make that mistake once. It's almost a year. And I finally make that mistake. Well, we do have free-to-play and multiplayer news to go through today. Of course, joining me to go over it, lots of buddies, including one has been away for a couple of months. But it's good to have him back. Mr. Jason Winter, how are you, sir?
Yeah, I made that mistake like twice this week when I was telling people on my stream that I was going to be on the free-to-play cast. I mean, the Always Online cast this week.
The Always Online podcast.
But I love what you guys have done with the place. It's also different here. I mean, we got you and we got Q and like it's just
And you?
same as ever. So
Yeah. Also on the line, Ms. Quinlan Bowers. What's up, Q?
You know, I bet you made that mistake because Jason is back.
Maybe. Yeah, I made the mistake just for him. Just for him.
Just to make him feel at home.
Yes, come on back. Feel at home. It's nice to have you back. Jason, so Q is going to be out next week on Thursday and Friday, so we were kind of lining up who was going to host what this week and next week. And I was one short, and Jason was like, if you need somebody next week, I guess I can come and do one. It's been 2 months. And I said, how about this week? And he was like, okay, fine. So welcome, Jason Winter, for your inaugural guest host spot.
Ooh.
Yeah, what have you been doing?
History, people.
It's like in a week or so, it'll be 2 months since you have stepped aside from content creation for sites. You've been obviously streaming a lot on your personal channel. My son Torchwick has been watching your V-Rising stream and your Crusader King streams and hanging out in your chat a little bit, enjoying what you're doing there. Is that all that Mr. Winter is doing? Just more streaming on your own channel, or do we have other things that you've been enjoying in the past few months?
Pretty much the same crap I've always done, just more of it.
Well, there you go.
Yeah. Although you're out of practice here. I haven't even asked you about what's behind me yet.
I have not yet. I wanted to catch up with you first a little bit.
Right.
I will always ask what's behind you. Always. Hey, Jason.
Yeah?
What's behind you on your crates today?
Well, I'm glad you asked, Mike. Because Q was saying that she wouldn't be satisfied if I wasn't on some tropical beach with a fruity drink in my hand, so that's the closest I could get. It's just Kool-Aid with a colored straw, so you know.
It does look tropical. Like, I'll give you that.
It's tasty, you know. It's just Kool-Aid.
It's got a little tropical to it. Kool-Aid. I don't know the last time I had Kool-Aid.
Me either.
Yeah, seriously. Like I have kids, and I don't know the last time I've had Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid has been. Here's a trivia fact about Jason Winters. Kool-Aid has been a drink that I've had in my house my whole life. Literally.
Chat saying it's a chug jug. Those are. I don't know about you, but in my area, those are Huggies. The little like plastic clear barrel kids juices things. Chug jugs. No.
I don't even know.
Why would you associate any kind of thing that you're...
It was the company that made them like years and years and years ago. Do you guys know what I'm talking about, right?
No, I don't. I don't know about drink barrels. What kind of crazy Pennsylvania thing is that?
No, it's not just Pennsylvania. They're about.
Oh, I think it is.
That big. They're like a foggy or sometimes a clear plastic kind of etched barrel looking with basically Kool-Aid in it and a foil top. And it's just got a foil top, and you just punk a hole with a straw in it or slap your finger in it and drink it. You guys don't know what I'm talking about?
No.
I have a visualization of what you're talking about, but it is blowing my mind that it shares the freaking name with a diaper.
No, I mean, it sounds like the product was named like Little Hug or something like that, and so everybody just called them Huggies. Okay, here's a picture.
Yeah, Huggies are the diapers, right?
No, we're not talking about the stupid diapers. Here we go. Let's see. Yeah, here we go. Save image. There we go. Let's bring this up.
Graphic editing live on stream, guys.
Exactly. How do you guys not... These things.
Hang on, I gotta wait for the stream to catch up.
Right, because I'm just looking at MultiVersus at the moment.
Those right there.
Okay, I think I remember having those like 40 years
Yeah,
ago.
I've seen those things, but I've never heard
Yeah,
them referred to as Huggies.
Yeah, because the company or the product was called a Little Hug or something like that.
like maybe a long time ago, like back in young Jason days, very young.
Anyway, now that we've gotten this important gaming information out of the way, let's slide over and start with the news. Ladies and gents, we're about to head into the quote-unquote busy season, right? This would normally be the season of gaming where we kind of slide into E3 and some of the summer showcases for other people. Of course, E3 totally canceled this year, but that is not going to stop Jeff Keighley from doing the summer games. That's not going to stop Game Rant from doing their, or not Game Rant, GameSpot from doing their showcase as well. We've got the Xbox and Bethesda show. There's going to be a lot of reveals coming up over the next 2 to 3 weeks. Things coming out, things getting ready to come out either later this year or maybe early next year. So I wanted to stop, and I've got about 5 or 6 games, and we're just going to do a, hey, upcoming multiplayer games, are you interested? Now, some of these are actually kind of available now, like this first one, right? MultiVersus. This is Warner Brothers' take on the Brawler game, a la Super Smash. Their take on it with all of their characters, and of course, Ultimate Shaggy and everything. All the memes are coming to life in this one. This is actually in a testing phase right now. It is going to be one of the options I'm going to give chat after the show today to stream. I do have access to it. I have not even booted it up, but it's all installed, so we could check this out if you want to. I'm not terribly good at brawlers, but hey, whatever. Initial reception, though, is kind of surprising, Jason, because I remember when we saw this, we were like, that's cute, that's funny. Man, that just seems like a, quick cash grab. Nickelodeon had done a similar thing with Nickelodeon Brawl, which was, received okay. But the initial feedback on MultiVersus so far has actually been pretty positive from some pretty, high-ranking, I guess you would say, Smash tournament fighters. And this is going to appear at EVO. They're going to hold their own tournament at EVO, and Smash and Nintendo has already backed out of EVO, so now it doesn't even have to compete with that, probably because Nintendo's going to do its own Smash thing going forward. But have you taken a look at it yet? Q and I absolutely love the animation. We'll talk about that in a few seconds. But what's your initial impressions? Is it one you're looking forward to playing? It is free to play, so no cash investment.
Yeah, I've never been good at the brawler kind of games. I've only played them lightly. So I'm more interested in just for the lunacy of it, just the weirdness of it all. It's like I think I'll like watching it maybe more than I like playing it because it is so crazy and just out there. I'm not too surprised that it is getting a good response. I mean, I won't say it's easy to make these kind of games. When you get right down to it, a lot of them are just could be the same kind of things, just this time with a different skin, this time with this kind of these characters and so forth.
Yeah.
You're going to have characters who are fast, characters who are strong, characters who have, range attacks, melee attacks, whatever. The worst thing, though, that I think about the whole thing that I really, really can't stand is Shaggy's voice actor. Like I grew up with the cartoon. Maybe he's the current guy who does it in the official cartoons or whatever. But I grew up with the guy in the 70s and 80s, and this guy's terrible. I'm sorry. And I don't get the whole meme of angry powered up Shaggy. That's also that's my old man rant right now. I don't get that crap.
So you grew up with Casey Kasem Shaggy.
That's right. That's who it was.
Yeah,
Casey Kasem.
Casey Kasem. This is Casey Kasem.
I even watched some of the more recent, maybe around 2000, early 2000s, some of the movies they had there.
Yeah.
I thought the Shaggy was okay. I don't know if that was still Casey Kasem, but this guy doesn't sound like Shaggy at all. I'm sorry.
I will say this, Q. When you and I saw the trailer and you wrote it up for the piece, we were like, okay, if the trailer's anything to go by, this could be pretty good and pretty interesting. It does exude a higher production value to me than Nickelodeon's Brawl did. I mean, because Nickelodeon's Brawl didn't even put any voice acting in it. They just chucked that bad boy out of the door. So I got to appreciate that at least Warner Brothers seems to have put a lot more production value into the game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, when I looked at it, I was like, oh, this actually looks cool. It's And I do get the ultimate Shaggy meme, so but um yeah, it looks really cool, and the voice acting and everything in it, like you may not like, one of the voice actors or something or what here or there because you're used to whichever one. But like they did put all that effort into
Yeah.
it. And like the characters, despite the fact that, a lot of these are 2D characters in their 3D format, they look exactly what I would expect, the various characters from the different shows to look like and everything. So, I mean, I think they've done a really good job on the trailer.
Harley Quinn and Taz falling in love. I love it.
I know,
I
I know. The
absolutely
only
love it.
thing that would have been more appropriate is if they had had Elmira.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Remember her?
Oh,
Like
yeah, from
Elmira,
Animaniacs.
Elmira fighting Harley for Taz.
Yeah.
Like that would be great. But
So,
I mean, yeah, this is good so far.
so here's the thing. Free to play, so you don't have to buy it. Will you play it, Q? Or is it, like Jason said, something that you would like to maybe watch other people play just for the sheer lunacy of it, but it's not something you're really going to jump into and obviously not spend like money in their cash shop or anything?
Um, I think this is one of those things that would depend on who I had to play it with. Like I wouldn't just play it with randos on the internet, but if like, somebody from,
Yep.
Some of my friends are like, "Hey, do you want to try this?" And since it's free, I'd give it a whirl. I would be terrible at it, I'm sure, but I would, hop in and play it with friends for funsies.
Oh, yeah, Elmira's Tiny Toons, not Animaniacs. Thanks, chat. I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm definitely going to try it. I'm not huge into Super Smash anyway, and Brawlhalla. Like, I've dabbled in it. Nickelodeon, the production values turned me off. I was like, I'm not spending money on this at all. This being free to play, I already have the testing access, so I'm going to check it out there. And then I know my son, Torchwick, is really, really into Super Smash and fighting games in general, so he'll probably very much enjoy this. Baron Vagabond does bring up a good point. We don't know anything about the cash shop yet. Now, I mean, obviously...
How could it be, though? I mean, they're not going to sell power. It's got to be just skins and taunts and stuff like that, you'd think.
Yeah, you would think, because like not only that is that the way to go, but it's like this is the Warner Brother IP and all of your characters. You have hundreds of skins that people are going to want for all of these different characters. The special outfit that Bugs Bunny wore in X episode type stuff.
Oh, the opera episode. Yeah, that's what
exactly.
Yeah.
I want the tuxedo for Bugs. I do. So
no, the opera, the
yeah, with the Viking horns and the braids.
Valkyrie one, yeah.
Oh, the Valkyrie one, yeah. Oh, yeah.
The Viking horn and the braids. Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's
Bugs.
Tons of skins potential. I think they'll do just fine. I mean, hey, PUBG is making more money now than when there was a box fee. Imagine that. So no reason for now. Loot boxes, skin drop. No, don't even say that out loud. All right, moving on. We've got Jason. I know that you maybe thought this was never actually going to come out.
I totally forgot about this existing until I was like, wow, this is actually coming out? What?
I forgot about it too, dude, so don't feel bad. Until I read the thing today, I was like, oh.
Yeah, when I saw the news yesterday and assigned it, Anthony wrote it up, and I was like, if Jason sees this article, he's going to be like, I totally thought that was going to get canceled at some point. Mm-hmm. Because Roller Champions by Ubisoft has been like delayed and maligned for a while. It was one that when we initially saw it, both Jason and I were like kind of, oh, that could be neat. It's very much in the vein of a Rocket League type game where it's a small team, 3v3 competition type physics-based a little bit gameplay where you're roller derbying you and your team around the arena holding a ball. The more laps you can make, by the time you throw the ball into a hoop, it'll be worth more points. You make 1 lap, throw through the hoop, 1 point. Make 3 laps, then throw it through the hoop, you get 3 points. But the other team, of course, is trying to knock your ass around and get that ball off of you to negate all the laps that you've made and start making their own. Games are played to 5 points. Bunch of jumping, bunch of hopping, bunch of going up the walls, ridiculous type physics stuff like that in skates. Tons of opportunity for skins and character customization. That's the way they're billing this as far as the payment model, free to play with all of that type of stuff. So very, very much in that vein of a Rocket League competitor. or hoping to be a Rocket League competitor. Remember, we talked earlier this year about 2K Games potentially getting into that space too with a Rocket League competitor, kind of a ball-based game, but you had a disc attack for your little Tron-like bike or whatever. So we're seeing a lot of games kind of falling into this space. Does Roller Champions have a chance, Jason?
Maybe I'm being lazy, or just my brain doesn't work anymore after a couple months off, but hearing their description in the video how the game works, and here you take like 60 seconds to describe it, just bugs me. Like, you compare it to Rocket League here's how you play Rocket League. You have a car, you knock a ball in the goal.
Yeah.
That's like, well, here, if you go around this many laps and you do the math thing to determine, should I throw the goal now? But what if someone's coming at me? Should I wait until the next lap? What if I don't know. That just seems like it's going to be a bit much for people to get into. And yeah, the fact that this was just nothing for about a year at least.
A long time. It kept getting bounced, and then like we saw the reveal, and then we didn't hear anything. Then we were supposed to hear something, and then didn't. Then it was delayed. I mean, I honestly am kind of impressed it's actually even making it out the door at this point.
I know, yeah. I think it might be a YOLO launch. I think it might be that Ubisoft was like, we've done as much as we can. Just toss it up there, see if it makes some money. Whatever. I feel like that's about where this
May
is.
25th next week. Zach and I.
That's the thing. It's like next week. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's that we literally heard yesterday, and it was like, hey, see you next week. Zach and I are already planning to do a duo first look of this one. However, at least from everything I've seen, there is no ones or twos, which I guess kind of makes sense. Ones would kind of have to have some different rules. Like if you get too far away from the other person, you just lap 5 times and throw it. But so it looks like it's only 3v3, so we're going to need a third. Jason, if you want to jump in, you can. Q, if you want to. But maybe we'll just go with a rando. So it is one that I like these types of games. I'm enamored with Rocket League, obviously. And so I do like checking out these types of physics, sporty type gameplay things, competitive things that aren't like freaking MOBAs and stuff like that. So I was interested in this when we saw it. I'm definitely going to check it out, even more than just checking it out for the first look. But I'm telling you right now, your controls better be tight, or I'm going back to Rocket League. As much as I love Turbo Golf Racing, that is a very specific game. We had a lot of fun with it. I can't wait till that comes out. But the controls aren't as tight as Rocket League, and I can feel that when I'm holding the controller right away. If this does it, I just don't have the time for it. And if you're right, Jason, and they kind of just like, you know what, just push it out there, I feel like that's actually going to be to the detriment of the game very quickly. Very quickly. I'm going to say that, Q, this probably isn't one for you. If I had to guess.
It would be one that I would watch for sure, because I do like watching that stuff, but it would it's one of those, it's not even like I would be terrible in the way I would be at a brawler game. This is something that I would just probably, well, I don't know. I do pretty good with the car stuff in Saints Row and everything, but I don't think I'd be good at it on a PC.
Chat says they want Q as Zach and my third.
I mean, I could try it.
Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I'll watch that video.
well, gang, we got one view.
I'll watch live.
We got one view. All set. We got one view.
Well, no, too, if Old Gloria is saying he wants to watch it. So
True.
We can just watch me be terrible at video games. Is that what we really want, is to actually see how bad I am?
Well, how about this one?
It's like, yay!
How about this one then, Q? This might be you've kind of liked the aesthetic and the just zany style of this. The first open beta for Deathverse Let It Die, survival action game, coming up as well. So we've got that kicking off on 2 different dates. These are like 2 very limited things. May 28th between 1 and 7 Pacific, and then June 5th between 1 and 6 Pacific. And these are kind of like just go break the servers is what they're testing. Not a lot of gameplay testing. It's now stability time for this. This one's not for me. I'm just going to say that right away. So I'm going to turn it over to Q.
I mean, I like PvP. because I do it like do PvP and MMOs and stuff. However, I don't like survival games. So I like the aesthetic. I really do enjoy this aesthetic. It's got a very uh what kind
Running
of
Man.
well, I was thinking more Repo the Genetic Opera thing
And
going
nobody's heard of that. Stick with the Running Man.
But anyway, it's got like this, this super campy, steampunky thing going on and everything that looks really cool. But I don't know, dude, survival game.
I'm
Like
watching. Is it actually a survival game? Because it looks like a
that's what
battle royale.
they described it as a survival action game. Whatever.
Yeah.
This
No,
is my
because you have to
problem with
It's
survive
games.
the battle
yeah,
royale.
it's a battle
a
royale.
royale.
Yeah, it's a battle royale. And it's I mean, if you ever played the original Deathverse, it's kind of continuing some of the stuff that went on there. But yeah,
Nobody heard of that either.
it is very battle royale, and Uncle Death doing all of the. We've had a ton of like different preview videos of this of different points, but it is PlayStation only.
Well, see, there I'm out. So.
Yeah, that's gonna hurt it a little bit right off the bat. It being PlayStation only. But if you're in the beta, there are no NDAs. Jason, if you were a PlayStation guy, does this do anything for you on the Battle Royale front that makes you want to load it?
It looks neat. But yeah, I this feels almost to me like I think of like a game like Naraka Blade Point, like a small number of people, relatively small battle royale. Like it looks like it's only gonna be like maybe double digits, like low double digits, and that's fun to watch. But I feel like the skill level of it is going to be beyond me. I'm better at slower games. I don't have the reflexes for this crazy stuff.
I always liked the presentation of games that did this type of thing, though. Like it would go back, right, Smash TV, where it was like this just ridiculous, deadly game show, and then there was a battle royale that just did it, not too long ago. What was that one, Jason? Help me out. Its sequel absolutely killed itself.
Radical Heights?
No. What was it, Chad?
Oh, Culling.
Yes, the Culling. Thank you.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, the Culling. And then they were like, okay, let's go back to the original. And people were like, nah, too late. I'm out.
Too late, yeah.
I'm out. I don't know. I'll probably watch it. I can't see me buying it or anything like that. Other free to play. This isn't new. This is not new, but starting June 21st, Fall Guys will be free to play for everybody on all platforms, because it will also now be coming to the Switch and the Xbox, which feels like it's been a long time for that. Obviously going to reset and do Season 1. Here's the odd thing, gang. Just like Rocket League, right, when it went free to play, although that was a little different because Psyonix was bought by Epic Games, but when this goes free to play, you won't be able to get it on Steam anymore. So if you want Fall Guys on the Steam platform, go buy it. Before this happens, you'll still be able to play it just like you can Rocket League today, but you will not be able to get it through Steam. It's switching over to an Epic Store exclusive when it goes free to play on June 21st. Now, they did a whole reveal trailer for Fall Guys going free to play, cross-platform, cross-play, everybody, playing together and all that stuff. They teased at the very end a level creator tool, which I think that game really should have had right off the bat. But hopefully it is coming. So here's the question. Like, we've all played or dabbled with Rocket League or watched, not Rocket League, Fall Guys, or watched it being played and had some fun with it on stream. I gotta ask, though, I feel like they should have struck a little earlier while the iron was hot on jumping this to free to play. It already had season passes and cosmetic stuff in it right at launch. When it became massively big real quick via Twitch mostly, I feel like now fast forward, like a year and a half, 2 years later, yeah, they're going to get a lot of players. Yes, they're adding 2 new platforms, but I just feel like this is a bit late for them to be making this transition.
I mean, I guess, they were just riding it out as long as they could, because like you said, they had the cosmetics and the stuff that the additional stuff that you pay for. But even if it was a minor amount, they still had, I guess a trickling in up to whenever they made this decision. a trickling in of cash from the sales still, and they just didn't want to give that up for a while. So, I mean, it is one of those things do need to do it at the right time in order for people to actually care. But also with them adding it to the two new consoles, and really, it should have been on Switch of all things forever ago.
Right.
Um, but with them adding it to that, I guess, it's like, oh, well, this renews interest and yada yada yada. But I don't know that it makes a big difference in the transition in and of itself. I think it makes a bigger difference that they didn't have it on Switch forever ago, because they
Yeah.
probably would have made some money on sales on the Switch.
Yeah, it's weird. Like Jason, in my head, it was bigger for longer than it actually was. Like, if you go back and you look at Steam charts, August of 2020, average players 124,000. The following month, September, 66,000. October, 26,000. November, 12,000. And it's kind of fluctuated from then on between like 6 and 10,000 average players. So like it's big pop if you go by Steam charts, which again is only PC. Of course, this was on PlayStation too, so we're only looking at one platform, but directionally accurate is probably the way I would describe the data. It seems like it was like only like huge for like 2 months, and I just feel like it was bigger for longer in my head.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, well, even 10,000 players is not terrible.
No, not at all.
Still doing it. So, but yeah, you're right. I think it did explode and then dropped a little sooner than we thought, but it stabilized pretty well. It didn't take. I guess it stabilized well about the same amount of time it took New World to stabilize. I guess if you want to get right down to it. But
have we checked on? I don't think we've checked on New World since you've been gone.
It stabilized last month. Actually, I remember looking at that.
Yeah, still kind of fluctuating between that 18 and 22,000.
It's down a bit more again this month, so
yeah. That's whatever.
That was the game I predicted would go free to play this year, but I should have probably taken Fall Guys instead.
Well, I see. That's the thing. When you said that, when we saw the news, and then later I had already assigned it, and later you put it in chat, and you were like, "Hey, I should have guessed this one," and I was like, "Yeah, I see why you don't though." Like, I think it missed when it really would.
Yeah.
Been...
If they were going to do it, it would have been last June or something.
Yeah, exactly. So you'll be able to play that for free to play. And finally, on the "Are you interested in this?" We have got. Do I have a trailer for this? Apparently,
there is a trailer.
No, yeah, there is, but apparently I did not load this one because I added it later.
Show the gameplay video. That's the only one that matters.
Oh no. Oh, there it is. Nope, no, I don't have it. Okay. So let's talk about Marvel Snap. I feel like Marvel Entertainment kind of pulled the old bait and switch on this one, because all week we were hearing there was going to be a new Marvel game announced this week. There was going to be, and it had hundreds of characters and blah, 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 blah. And then yesterday they were like, here's Marvel Snap, a PC and mobile collectible card game with all kinds of characters from the Marvel universe. And I'm like, yeah, come on. They're cards. It's settled. Come on.
Never get hyped for anything, Mike.
Oh, I wasn't hyped for it. I don't care. I don't care. But I was like, yeah, I can see some Marvel fans being pissed after 2 days of, we got a new game. We're going to announce it this week. It's got hundreds of Marvel characters. Here's a card game. It's developed by Second Dinner and Newverse, and obviously with Marvel, a multiplayer collectible card game. It's called Marvel Snap. As I mentioned, it will be mobile first. In fact, they're taking signups now for an Android beta. It will eventually come to PC, but it feels like if you watch the video where they talk about this, they say it's primarily, or first and foremost, it's a mobile game, but it is developed with PC in mind as well. But don't expect PC anytime soon. It seemed like PC early access was going to begin when launch of the actual mobile version came out. So PC seems to be lagging behind a little bit. It's been in development for 4 years, and we've got lots of old Hearthstone heads on this one. So a lot of people that you know, game director Ben Brody, executive producer Hamilton Chu, formerly of Hearthstone, they left, right? And now this is what they have been working on. and they're billing this as very quick. Like, Jason, matches between you and I could take like 3 or 4 minutes. And our turns go simultaneously, so it's a bit more frenetic than, a traditional game of Magic the Gathering or Hearthstone. And then there's like this little betting or snapping mechanic where if I think I'm going to win, I can snap and it shows Jason that, hey, I've just doubled the output, the rewards for this if I win, because I think I'm going to win. So there's a little bit of a, I guess you could use that as like a bluffing mechanic, kind of bluff your opponent into a forfeit because the stakes are too high and you're, showing off that you can win this match. The gameplay, Jason, you said you like the gameplay video a little better. I agree, but what did you see as a CCG head?
So yeah, when I first watched the trailer, the 1.5-minute trailer, I was like, oh, whatever, just more graphics. This is like the 5th one that I'd watched. I went through all the stuff in the cast, like, whatever. More stuff's not showing me anything about the game. Then I watched their 6-minute hype video, and I was like, oh my god, hype.
Yeah, they're going to be streaming some matches today too.
Nice to see Ben Brode back. I love seeing him, listening to him talk, but there's like, oh, we got rid of all the bad stuff in games and just left the good stuff. I was like, oh my god. They at least did not use the classic CCG line of it's easy to learn but hard to master. I give them credit for not using that.
Well, they didn't use the exact line. They said in the thing, they were like, you could play this game for thousands of hours and still not have it all mastered and figured out. And that's but you could pick it up in a few minutes. So they reworded it, but yeah.
Okay. So then I was not in a good mood going into the gameplay video. Then I watched that and I actually learned how the game was played. I actually got into the details of the game and I was like, this doesn't look too bad. I could maybe see myself actually giving this the time of day. I don't know about the whole. I think the hype of everyone plays at the same time is a little overdone because it looks like you play your card or whatever cards you can play, and then your opponent's going to have to play his. You both do it in secret, but you might still have to wait 20 or 30 seconds for him to do his thing. So I think depends on how long the turn timers are. I don't think it's as fast paced as it looks like in a trailer video where it's like bam, bam, card. So I think they definitely overhyped that, but the actual gameplay might be solid and is a good little is like a mobile quick time waster or something you can do. I think the snap thing is a bit of a gimmick still. That I'm still not a fan of. But otherwise, for a simple little thing.
I would hope it's not a gimmick considering that's what they named their game.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah.
They were like, this mechanic is so important, let's name our game after it. Oh, it's just a gimmick.
No.
Q, being...
There are no actual Hearthstones in Hearthstone.
Right, that's true, too. I know you're not huge into CCGs, but you do dabble in mobile. This is quick. This is snappy. It's got a lot of Marvel in it. I don't know. Could it sway somebody like you that doesn't traditionally play a ton of CCGs into maybe checking this out as like a mobile distraction?
Yeah, I'd probably try it. I mean, I do dabble with CCGs. Jesus. I just don't
CC Jesus?
I've heard of RNGesus.
Anyway, I just don't stick with them. There's yet to be one that's been like, oh, this is a game that I need to keep in my life permanently. It's like I play it for a little while, I don't know, the tutorial stuff or whatever, and then I'm like, and delete it. So it probably would fall into that area of a brief distraction for a limited amount of time.
I signed up for the mobile beta. Like I just definitely one, like I'm just not a mobile gamer, so if I did like get into it pretty heavy, I would play it on PC. But only mobile beta. So if I get into beta and we're able to stream it, I certainly will. I am absolutely interested in it. I like CCGs. I give them all a chance. Most of them are freaking terrible, but I give them all a chance.
I don't give them all a chance. No,
I give them all a chance. I give them all a chance. All right, let's hit some weird news now. Jason, did you see what Fortnite is doing to make it... All right, I'm just going to turn it over to you then. That's a great reaction. What's going on over at Fortnite?
They want to be Roblox. They want to exploit their people even more. Like again, we didn't talk about this on Fall Guys. It's like, man, I hate that it's going. I'm gonna play it. I think I'm going to check to see if I still have Epic Launcher installed. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna play it, but I'm gonna hate myself. I'm never gonna give Tim Sweeney any money. And yeah, Fortnite just wants to be Roblox now. They want to give people, what is it? Give people they're going to provide an Unreal editor for it, so you can make your own stuff, and possibly even brands could get in there and make their own worlds, and you can run around in there and do everything. And yay,
Yay!
yay!
I'm
The
I'm
metaverse. It's the metaverse.
yeah. I'm gonna say this. I'm amazed it took them this long. Actually,
Yeah, actually, yeah.
like when Roblox first, started just riding up that roller coaster hill all the way to the top, I was amazed that Epic Games didn't have something. I didn't know if they would do it with Fortnite or if they would spin up something else or if they were going to, excuse me, if they were going to try and do it on the back of Core, that game that's on the Epic Game Store where you can create all those little games, basically Roblox. Like, I thought maybe they were going to ride that one. But obviously, I think making it in Fortnite just makes a lot of sense, Q. I mean, your audience is so big.
Yeah, honestly, I had forgotten about Core. Like, I completely forgotten it existed, even though I'm sure I'm the one who usually writes about it. Um, but it does make sense. And I think maybe they had been working towards this for a while anyway, because they've been spending a lot of time on the creative portion of Fortnite, right? Like they've been putting quite a bit of effort into that. Like, yeah, they're still doing the battle royale stuff, but most of the stuff they announce in some way involves the creative, like Fortnite creative. So I mean, I'm guessing like that's kind of what took them this long to get to the point where they're like, and now, um,
So let
it,
me ask this though. With Tim Sweeney fighting with Apple and throwing barbs at Google and other people along the way for monetization and things like that, I don't think they legitimately could treat the player revenue stream the way somebody like Roblox does, Jason, without having immediate backlash, right?
That's a good point. I hadn't thought about it that way. But on the other hand, Roblox required like the video exposés from those guys to show exactly how they were exploiting them, how much. So Fortnite could maybe hide it well enough, or Epic could maybe hide it well enough, and hope that it gets out. Hope that it stays hidden long enough with tons of levels and this and that. So they might try. They might try it.
We'll see. We'll see. We're still a ways off on this one, but yeah, Epic wants that sweet Roblox money. Q, what the hell's going on in Ion? They posted a letter that basically said nothing, besides acknowledging their player base is dwindling.
I mean, that's pretty much the basics, right? Their player base is dropping, and their player base has been dropping, I would say, for a pretty good while anyway. They did get the nice little when they brought out Classic and shit, but even the player base in there is dropping now. So I don't know. They're listening to player feedback. Although if the players are leaving, I'm not sure whose feedback they have to listen to. But they're listening. They are listening to player feedback. They're just not. They're not using the feedback for anything apparently. So they're listening to you though. They are listening.
Yeah, so like I don't know. I read the letter and I signed it to Aspen to write up, and both Aspen and I are like, this literally says nothing besides acknowledging you have no players. like it was like on Ion Classic, we're going to be condensing servers. We're listening to your feedback on matchmaking stuff and group content, and we're going to keep you posted on our plans to help you there. And then we got Ion 8.2 coming. We also have nobody playing that, so we're having problems with different matchmaking, and we'll keep you posted. That was just okay. What a wonderful dev blog. Poor Ion.
A 13-year-old game that's losing players. I promise we have a future. Honest.
Imagine that. Okay, so this one's up to a little bit of interpretation. Okay. This is one of those maybe things aren't worded in a very clear way. BioWare put out a tweet that said, we're hiring, and has listings for software development for a number of titles, game design, art, development director, user research, and audio for a number of titles. The tweet says, do you want to be part of the next Mass Effect, Dragon Age, or Star Wars The Old Republic games? Come work at BioWare, and then shows the image. And next to the categories I just read, it tells you which games that they're looking for. Now, does this mean, Jason, that you are either that they're just hiring for Star Wars The Old Republic? Because if you look specifically, they are looking for a level design director for SWTOR. And then everything else is like Dragon Age or has no game title, so it could be, multiple games. They also have a level designer, so a level designer and a level design director. But could they be working on the next SWTOR? There's a little bit of ambiguity in the way they worded this one. Do you want to be part of the next Mass Effect, Dragon Age or Star Wars The Old Republic games? Plural. So it would imply, with the plural on games, that next applies to all 3 titles, not just the next Mass Effect. So are we going to get... We talked before about getting a Star Wars MMO. The rumor was maybe ZeniMax was working on one in the Mandalorian timeline. Were we all bamboozled and it's actually just BioWare doing another one?
So this was on, wrote this up on Monday. So I guess Monday was a really, really slow news day.
Oh, yeah.
Because, this is whatever. They're hiring for stuff. There's no.
You don't think there's... I mean, they're the ones that use the word next and games in that tweet.
My taffy is not as stretchy as you're stretching this interpretation.
I mean, honestly, it could be a completely different title altogether. And, like how you say, oh, well, Rift was the next World of Warcraft or some bullshit like that, right?
Maybe it's the next Anthem.
Yeah, but they're specific here. The next Mass Effect, Dragon Age, or Star Wars The Old Republic games.
Loot River is like Tetris and Dark Souls. We want to put those big things out there so it draws your attention. Okay, that's all.
I mean, it's literally like they're just being like, I don't.
Here's our biggest one. Yeah, they don't mention Anthem.
There probably is a new Mass Effect at some point.
Oh yeah,
there is. Yeah,
and we know Dragon Age is in development too. Yeah,
there's single player games. Star Wars: The Old Republic. It could literally be just another MMO. Like. We're working on an MMO, but since we make Star Wars The Old Republic, we kind of just want to relate it to that so that you'll get excited.
Or they're just looking for somebody to come and design levels in existing SWTOR, new dungeons and stuff like that.
Well, I mean, they have listings for various, like they have level designer SWTOR. They specifically mentioned that. And some of them say cinematic designer with no game mentioned. So that probably is for something new.
We'll see.
Or it could be multi-game. Here, design cinematics for all of our games. So.
Hey, Blizzard may be getting sued again, guys. Although this one, not about people touching people. This one is about Hearthstone card packs because apparently, once again, some parent wasn't watching. Their kid spent hundreds of dollars on cards, not knowing, odds of getting certain things and whatever. And so their parents are now suing. And the lawyer is asking for this to turn into a class action status. Gee, I wonder why. Because as a result of this, according to the complaint, is that the child spent over $300 between 2019 and 2021 using her father's credit card and debit cards without permission. Okay, I don't know anybody's financial situation. To some people, $300 is a ton of money. To some people, $300 is something they would lose in the couch cushions, right? So I'm not making any commentary on their financial position. However, if you go to court and you try to seek damages of $300 over the course of a 2-year period, the courts are going to determine that is basically a meaningless dollar amount, Jason.
Yeah, that's small claims court. That gets done on Judge Judy or whatever, Not whatever where is it, the California Court of whatever.
It's more expensive to file a small claim than to get those $300 back. I think that's cute. Probably why the lawyer's like, hey, let's try to get let's try to get the judge to declare class action status.
Let me point out too, if they were doing this, usually when we see this kind of thing, it's like, oh, little Jimmy, he put $300. He put $300 on the credit card last month. We see that bill kind of. Oh no, what is this?
No, between
this was over 2 years.
Yeah.
Were you never looking at your statements?
Yeah, apparently it was not a financial crimp to the
household.
To the household if you didn't notice, like, hey, there was $12 missing. Hey, there was $13 missing. Hey, there's $18 missing. Like, I don't know. I think it desperately needs class action status if it's going to go anywhere, because we do hear those stories all the time. But then you also have the counter argument, Jason, that it's like, parents, really, Q, be parents, please. Be the adults in the room, please. We're not in the brand new age of mobile transactions anymore. That has come and gone.
Right. Here's the thing, though. They're also complaining that Blizzard didn't put any parental controls to stop this. And I'm just sitting here thinking, wait a minute, don't we have those on our devices?
Yeah.
Like, isn't that just built into the system now on our devices? So, I mean, I guess maybe you could make that complaint, but at the same time, and I mean, I don't know. The entire thing is just bizarre to me. Like you said, the kid basically spent $100 a year. And nobody noticed that, this money was gone until like 3 years later. Like,
Old Glory in chat says smart kid though. Yeah, nickel and diming them. Just like
there you go.
Just taking a little bit out of the till every time.
Remember when it was the kid who spent like $3,000 of his parents' money on?
Yeah, we've seen stories that were tens of thousands. Yeah.
And you're just like, okay, well, you should probably be watching what your kids are doing on mobile devices, but yeah, that's a fucking lot of money.
To be clear, to one thing, it says here the guy's filing suit attributes his spending to his daughter, so it's not little Bobby, it's little Jenny's Hearthstone edition.
Oh yeah, I used her earlier.
I missed that. I missed that part early on. But I'll say I've gone on record about this multiple times about how that is the thing that would make loot boxes mildly palatable. And this is what we talked about. Remember the bill that they were going to have, like, by the end of 2020, everyone has to list the odds for the loot boxes in video games, and all the big publishers signed on to it and said, "Okay, we'll do that."
Yeah, I actually before you, like the month before you left, I had sent you that link, and I was like, "Hey, do we have any update on this?" And
like, nope.
Both of us were like, "Yeah, no, there's no update on that."
No, it never happened.
COVID.
Yeah,
couldn't do it. COVID.
Sports card manufacturers have to do it because Upper Deck got in trouble for something a few years ago, or like 30 years ago, actually. But CCGs, physical CCGs I don't know if it's legally they have to. No, we did with Fullmetal Alchemist in 24. I'm not sure yet if that's required for like Magic cards or anything. But
I mean, I don't know the like laws about, but the card packs for physical CCGs, at least here in the States, they do advertise, 9 commons, 1 rare, and then here's the entire. This pack is guaranteed to have 1 foil card of any rarity, 9 common cards, 3 rare cards, and 1 either hero or legend card. And then how many cards are in the entire set, too. So there's 12 legends and there's 36 heroes. So that hero legend slot has a 1 out of 48 chance of giving me the hero or legend I'm looking for. Like you can pull it out. And it's on all the packs as well as the booster boxes and distribution boxes. So I don't know if that's required, but I know that it's there. All right. Last up before we go to the weekly bombs, V Rising released this week. First look video is up on mmobomb.com and on YouTube. So check it out. Obviously, check this show out, and while you're there, give us a like, a subscribe, a follow, a comment. Feed that algorithm, and if you like what we do here, tell all your friends. It's easy, it's fast, and in fact, it's free to support us that way. And stop on over, mmobomb.com. We've got the game pages up for free-to-play games so that you can go place your reviews there and recommend things. Now, this is on Steam, early access, starting at $20. It is not a free-to-play title by Stunlock Studio, the makers of Battle Right. Jason, I'm going to let you go first here. You've had some hands-on time with V Rising. We were both looking forward to checking this out for various different reasons in some cases. What's your early experience with it so far? What do you think?
Oh, it's fun. It's a good bit of fun.
Like you like Valheim and games like that.
Survival game types. Yeah. More than Q. Like, I don't know if you like survival or battle royales or whatever, but yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really enjoy the combat, especially. I think there's a good bit of variety with the powers you can use, and the boss fights are really entertaining. You can definitely tell too that they, it feels like the boss fights feel kind of like a Path of Exile fight. Like, I don't compare this to Path of Exile. Someone said, "Oh, it's a isometric like Path of Exile." I was like, no, it's not really. It's more like I said, it's more like Valheim, the way you do crafting and survival and so forth.
Well, and even in Valheim, it's very PvE focused, taking out bosses for the tech tree, right? And that's very similar here for the vampire skills as well.
That seems a little less so, because you only get like one special power, like when you defeat one of the big boss heroes. I actually do here too, but you have like a hot bar. You got a few of them you can employ. So it is a really good game. I think they've got a good foundation here, and they're gonna really make bank with it. I see all sorts of big streamers I see playing it too. Like I saw Felicia Day talking about how happy she was with it, and it's really
it is good. It is good. Like, if you've even remotely been interested in it, I mean, you can check out the first look video and immediately know whether this is a game for you. Like, everything you see in the first look video is what you get. Like, the only thing you may not be seeing is how difficult a further boss in the game is. Like, but this is what it is. And if you like just... the way I said it in the first look is, if you're looking for, let me go explore the world and do some PvE stuff, and, I'm not really that big on the crafting and gathering in survival type games, no. This one just isn't for you. Don't expect Battle Rights combat either. For those of you that maybe were excited by Stunlock doing this, it's not. It's not that. If you like the building and gathering and crafting, like if you've spent hours and hours in Minecraft just building your castle, then this is probably for you. If you like housing options, if you spent hours and hours in designing your own house, you might like this game as long as you're okay with having to gather the resources to do it. You can do it without doing the PvP stuff, too. So it all depends on the server you play on, or maybe your friends get a server or you rent a server. I will say this, the single-player offline mode that the Stunlock team had talked about previously is not active yet. They are working on getting that active, so you can attempt to play this offline by yourself when that mode comes. It's just not available as of this recording. Should be available in the next few days.
I just made my own server, and nobody's on it, so I'm basically playing single-player offline.
Right, well, but you have to be online.
Thing.
Yeah, for that, this is specifically an offline mode. I am loving it. Somebody asked me, does it scratch my Legacy of Kain itch? No. There is no real narrative driving force going on in this game at all.
Except for the opening video, that's the whole story.
Right. There's no narrative driving force. I'm generally not into these games. Like, I've dabbled in Minecraft and Valheim and stuff like that, but I'm like, okay, I built a cool little castle. All right, I'm done. Let me go play something else. I have played this every day since early access started. Every day. It gets a huge thumbs up for me. It's in a great condition as far as early access goes. The only performance I had was some rubber banding here and there, but that was it. I know other people were suffering from an error they kept giving an alert for in the global chat that was like your performance degrading over a long play session, and usually a restart would fix that. So I did not have that happen. Maybe a little rubber banding on the server here and there, but nothing else. Q, what do you think, taking a look at it? Because I offered Q a key, and she was like, no, thanks.
So I got a secondhand key is what you're saying.
No, I had 3 keys. I took one, I gave you one, and I was going to give Q the third one. Q did not want it, so I gave it to Anthony.
Okay. Yeah, because, I mean, it looks neat. Like, I think it looks nice and everything, but it's also, I think it's honestly a little more involved of a relationship that I want with a game. that is
no waifus to collect.
Well, yeah, there's no waifus for me to collect. But no, like I already have, like this built-in relationship with one game, and this is gonna require a whole different thing from me that I just don't have the time or energy for. So yeah.
It is fun. It is fun, Jason, with people not realizing that even on a PvE server, you need to feed your castle. You need to make sure your castle has blood, or you're going to have your castle nuked if it starts decaying. even on a PvE server. Huge thumbs up. I'm looking for, my only concern is if you hate the PvP aspect of this, I don't know how long you're going to play, Jason.
Yeah.
Because it's not the type of game that, like, once you've built your castle, once you're making the max equipment that you can make, there is no additional stuff for you to go do on the PvE side of things, besides go play the PvP side. So we'll see. We'll see.
And there's a big power difference, too, between early players and late players. I was watching someone stream, and he was a group of 4 friends who were streaming it. And this one guy kept coming in and just ganking them, basically. Maybe 2. I think he had a buddy at some point. So
let's slide over and do the weekly bombs. I'm going to go first and just give a dub bomb to V Rising. I am enjoying it more than I thought I was going to, and I was already looking forward to it. No, it doesn't scratch the Blood Omen itch since it's not narrative-driven in any way, but damn, is it a whole lot of fun. Go ahead, Jason.
I'm going to give a dub bomb to all the people who've been coming out to my streams the past couple of months, keeping me company, chatting, or even just lurking, subbing, whatever they've been doing. Thank you very much to everyone coming out. Even you, Old Glory, for the one time you came out. I give you credit now. I yelled at you a couple months ago for not coming out. Now you've been there. So thank you. Thank you, everyone.
Go ahead, Q.
I'm going to give an A-bomb to Blizzard because I'm so sick of writing about your crap. Would you please stop?
I don't want to give a dub bomb to the fact that I don't have to write about their crap anymore.
From the viewers on YouTube or over on mmobomb.com, Raggerty says, dub bomb to Anthony for a new pronunciation of my name. Across the 2 I use, RGZ Man being the other, Rig Scissor Man was the best. Raggerty is the way I pronounce it, but I'm not hung up on it, on how it's said, because I butcher them all the time. Kind of an update on my A/dub bomb last week about the Smite crossover. A-bomb to Hi-Rez for having a weird system to get the most money out of its players. 9 skins in 1 lockbox, but it's only after 4 rolls that you can choose what you want out of 3 random choices. Oh, and let's not forget that they'll dilute the box with other skins that have nothing to do with the crossover. Also, not all band members are voicing their respective skins. Like, I understand lots of money to get big names to do the voices, but how do you have an iconic voice like Corey Taylor and not have him voice it and still have a skin for him? So, yeah, loved it, but then kind of peeled back on it, Raggerty. Old Glory says A-bomb to Twitch servers today. Takal says dub bomb to having no reason to give an A-bomb. Ain't shit happened really to complain about this week. Well, that's good. That's good. Go ahead, Jason.
Mr. Rain says dub bomb to Aspen's voice. Saying this for Thloverisk, so he does not have to sound creepy by saying it twice. I got your back.
Well, we appreciate you getting each other's back in the chat. You guys are creepy. You guys are being creepy.
Yeah, you're getting there. You're getting there.
Red 3 Red 3 Tango dub bomb for the blue Hawaiian on Jason's HDX tote. That's his tropical drink. Go ahead, Q.
Chris McManus. I thought the show would lose something without Jason, but Anthony is brilliant. Keep him.
Oh, well, fine. Then screw you. I don't need...
Jason's out.
I could not. When I was putting the show notes together after I knew Jason was going to be in the show, I was like, that is going to be the best bomb. Yeah, Aspen and Anthony are doing absolutely tremendous. Anthony will be.
Yeah, Anthony's good, and so is Aspen.
Anthony will be on next week with Wilfredo, so it'll be Wilfredo, Anthony, and myself next week. Thloverisk says, dub bomb to Final Fantasy XI, back in after 15 years, just to play the story, because I never actually did back in the day, or most of it at least, and loving it. All the changes and quality of life improvements like the trust system are just so good. I recommend to anyone who hasn't been back for a long time to give it another go. Yeah, kind of a disappointing, at least for me, 20th anniversary celebration. I love the new track on the title screen. The interviews and all of that, like, reminiscing stuff has been fantastic, but yeah, nothing. And there's a ton of events in-game, but yeah. I want my big announcement. Go ahead, Jason.
Jabber says, dub bomb to Final Fantasy XIV's PvP rework. It feels fun and more dynamic now. I also love the cosmetic rewards. Been actually spending more time killing other players to the point of PvE rotations feeling so sluggish. This goes into the add-on dispute too, I guess.
Yeah, so that was the question of the week last week after we talked about it. Can of worms time. What's your stance on add-ons in general and specifically add-ons in Final Fantasy XIV? A ton of you gave a lot of great feedback. I had to edit some of these down, and I had to just pick some of these just in the interest of time. I mean, some of you wrote paragraphs. It is much appreciated, and I read them all, but I can't put them all on the show. Hiroko Takashiro says, the whole thing with Final Fantasy XIV add-ons is the players who don't know how to shut up. And of course, the streamers who think the rules don't apply to them. Not sure why some people can't just use them and not make a fuss about it, because if they didn't, they wouldn't have any issues. And yeah, I mean, with the way it's enforced right now, that's exactly 100% true. 100% true. Go ahead, Jason.
Baron Vagabond says, I think all add-ons should be banned. If there's a need for it in game, then developers should just add it to the game. As it stands now, there's too much controversy when the subject comes up. I think that alone detracts from the game. If the function of the add-on is in-game, then no controversy because it's an even playing field.
Also true. Go ahead, Q.
Azisius. I don't play Final Fantasy XIV. I simply didn't enjoy it, so I have no idea about the add-on situation there and what they do or don't do. But from my WoW experience, I think personally, weak auras and DBM, etc., should be limited in scope. They automate too much of the encounters. I think most of the functions of these add-ons should be baked into the stock UI. Others that solve the encounter should be broken by Blizzard, like they did with Wrath and some add-on functionality, if I remember that correctly. DPS meter should be built right into the stock UI. I think add-ons that don't automate combat should be allowed. If someone wants a pretty map, good for them. Same with chat bubbles in Final Fantasy XIV. I still think in terms of WoW community, the bigger problem is Raider IO, but that's another story.
That is another story, and one we will, maybe get into at some time, because I hear both sides of that argument too. Thoverisk says, question of the week. Well, I did have a very, very long list of add-ons in WoW back when I played that, and I would need to install most of them if I ever came back. But now in 14, I do sometimes run Act just to check how far behind in DPS I am during a dungeon or if I'm on par with the group. I like to know if I'm dead weight or if I'm pulling my own weight. I don't really care to share my numbers at all, or if they enforce not using them at all. I'll just stop using them without much impact to all my experience. For people with accessibility issues, yeah, something should be done about that as a first priority. Apart from that, I really don't care either way on the whole add-ons discussion. Go ahead, Jason.
Jabber, question of the week. Add-ons are fine as long as they don't dumb down game mechanics too much. Casuals. The deadly boss mods doing WoW. G-Shade or UI are harmless. Helping yourself out with combo mods is okay too if someone has trouble executing rotations. Wait, so first he doesn't want the fights dumbed down. Then he says okay if you have trouble executing rotations. Do you want to be elite or not, RS Jabber?
So I think he's talking about the same thing, the accessibility issues, because the combo thing for people with like carpal
it's like a 23-second global cooldown. How can you have trouble executing your rotation? I played Fire 14.
Have you done Dragoon?
A 23-second global cooldown.
Seriously, I remember watching the game. I've been watching the early videos. Like I go to the bathroom.
Playing your Dragoon rotation, you were literally playing a fucking piano to get back and forth across that shit. It's not easy.
Go ahead, Q.
Where was I? Oh, Slinky Rock. When it comes to DPS meters, I don't think anyone uses them in 95% of the content, that being roulettes. The people that would use them are almost expected to want to use them. It makes no sense why such a feature is missing from a game where math exists, including there actually being a math function in one of the dungeons or raids or whatever. Either way, bullying someone because of their DPS is low or whatever is just another reason for someone that is already an ass to be an ass in the first place. But tell me why in game where you're almost masochistically hard fights, you wouldn't want to see your damage.
Yeah.
And Square Enix can't really do anything about people intercepting and interpreting the chat, which is really all ACT does.
Yep. Misfit Rain says, I like add-ons. I like seeing the creative things people come up with. Also, I use DPS meters all the time when looking at stat and skill adjustments along with rotations to see where I stand and see if a new setup is working. I've beat on a ton of defenseless dummies in town. Gear build swapping add-ons are also super great. Finish it up, Jason.
That was pretty mean, beating on defenseless dummies. God,
they deserve it.
Hell. Oh, they're talking about like NPC dummies. Okay, not like people. Don't ban me. Says, yeah, still not touching Final Fantasy 14. No add-ons, no way to track DPS. That doesn't sound very fun.
So we kind of hit the entire board there of like, where can you fall on the add-ons conversation? Our question of the week this week, since we're seeing a lot more games, some of them we talked about today, now just jumping on to other platforms across the board. I wanted to know where you all stand. Should all games just always be on all platforms, or do you actually prefer it when a platform has an exclusive, whether that be a PlayStation exclusive, Xbox exclusive, Switch, or PC? Let me know how you feel about it in the comments below, and your favorite exclusive title while you're there. Doesn't matter how old or new it is. Don't forget your weekly bomb and everything else. Something you dub-bomb for something good, A-bomb for something bad in the world of gaming. And if you've got a question for the panel, throw it down there, and I'll bring it to next week's show with Wilfredo and Anthony. Until next time, Q, where can everybody find you?
Possibly on Twitter at Quentin.
Possibly. Jason.
On Twitter at Winter Informal, streaming at twitch.tv/Jason Winter.
I'm Mike Byrne. You can follow me personally right there in magicman1, but more importantly, follow at MMOBomb so you'll know every time we go live or post a new article, video, first look video, giveaway, and so much more. Stay safe. We'll see you on the servers.